So let's actually apply that knowledge to fixing the syllabus. So we saw the syllabus before under course information, and we checked it to make sure that all the information was current. But there's a problem with the syllabus. Let's go to edit it. If we scroll down to the grading criteria, I'm going to click on this line above it for a second. So evaluation of assignments and assessments. And you'll notice when I do that, the markup changes to heading 3. So there's an H3 there. If I go to this one, you see it's a heading 4. And if I find the parent, so here's a heading 3. And all the way at the top here, I'm going to have the section, heading 2, and the title, heading 1. So this is proper structure, heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, and so on. But when I get to the grading criteria section and click here, this isn't a heading at all. This is just a paragraph of text. And so if a blind student is viewing this document section by section with a screen reader, the screen reader is just going to skip right past this section. So the first thing we want to do is make this guy be under this guy. So if this is a heading 3, we want this to be a heading 4. And all I need to do that is just click anywhere on that line and select heading 4 from the dropdown. So now we have a properly structured heading 3 with a heading 4 under it and another heading 4 under it, and a screen reader will be able to use that. Now the other problem here is that this is just paragraph. It's just a paragraph text. If I wanted to format it as a list, I could do that by selecting all this content and actually let me select this content and go to either unordered list or ordered list. So let's make it an unordered list. And now a screen reader is going to be able to read this one item at a time. Before it was just a blob of text, and so there was no way to move from this one to this one to this one. Now the screen reader can actually read this as a list of items. But a list of items isn't actually the best presentation for this material because the information in it is structured. It's got a header at the top, and it's got a bunch of different categories, so discussions, assignments, quizzes, professional competence. And then for each category, it has a number of points associated with it, and a total at the bottom. So in fact, probably the best way of presenting this information is as a table. So let's look at doing that. I'm going to use the table tool to create an accessible table. And the way I do that is a little complicated, to be frank. In desire to learn, the HTML editing tools take a little getting used to, but there are some tutorials online, and if you practice with it, you'll actually find it's not so difficult. So I'm just going to start by inserting a table here. And I have to say how many rows and columns I want. So let's look at this. So I'm going to restructure this a little bit, but I'm going to do it in a couple of steps. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a header row at the top. So that's one row. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to basically do what's there. So we have 6 rows. And then for columns, I'm just going to go ahead and keep this as basically 2 columns to start with. And so we have one for this and one for that, so 2 columns. And I'm just going to go ahead and insert that. And now I'm just going to copy some data into it. So we have activities and points and discussions. I'm going to leave the number off. So now this is correctly structured as a table, but I haven't used header rows here. So what I'm going to do is I want to change these guys to headers. Let me select this whole thing here. And I'm going to change the cell properties to be cell type header. update. So now this is header style, and I can tell because it's a bigger font and it's on a different background. And now I could stop here, or I could actually make these be header as well. So I'm going to go ahead and select those and edit the cell properties again and change the cell type to header and update. So now this is a properly formatted table because it has headers and it has data. And it looks just like this one here, so you can use this as a model when you're fixing it. So now this will be accessible content in a way that the previous version wasn't.